My personal family couldn't tell me really what to do at university. Like you go to university to study and make your exams, but it's more than that. It's like participate in extracurricular activities. It's building your network. And where your personal family lacks in that knowledge, you gain a family at university who can give you that knowledge.
What's up, guys, and welcome to the very first episode of Familiar by Fam. Familiar is Fam's very own audio and video outlet, which will you be able to find on platforms such as YouTube, Spotify, Google, Apple Play, a podcast, etc., so a lot. And we shall be unraveling topics such as diversity, inclusivity, and student life. So for our first episode, we wanted to introduce you to what FAM is, what it stands for, who is behind FAM, how it was created, and what makes FAM stand out. So for the introduction, I would like to ask everyone here present to please briefly introduce themselves and also state your role, the role that you have within FAM. So I think we will start with all the way up there.
With me? Okay, I'm Fadoua. I'm in FAM, I'm the chair of the events committee and head of HR, and that is also my board position. What else do I say to introduce myself? I studied IBA at the VU, and I'm currently in a kind of a gap year, and next year I will be studying, hopefully, development studies or something related to that. So,
Awesome.
Sergio.
Hi, I'm Sergio. I'm one of the founders of FAM. And currently I'm in the advisory board, and I'm already working. So I work as an IT engineer at the ING. So yeah.
Nice. What did you study?
I studied business administration. Yeah.
Cool.
Hi everyone, I'm Marie. I'm the chair of FAM, and I'm studying law right now, almost finished. And that's it.
All right.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna just end a bit. I will also say it. My name is Parwana. I am. Do we say your age? No. Then I shall keep it to myself. I study law and society currently in my third year and hopefully finishing soon. And I myself am the vice chair at FAM, and I also am the chair of the family committee. And I've been involved in the FAM 2 years now, and it's been such a wonderful ride. I think we should also mention something about our background. In the sense we're from, I was born in Afghanistan, and I'm also a first generation student. And I think we have a lot of those here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, all of us, right?
All of us are first
Not
generation.
from Afghanistan, but first generation student.
We're
Yes.
not first generation, but all
Straight
from
up.
Afghanistan.
Represent a little bit. So there's that.
All right. My name is Danny. I'm also one of the founders. I studied artificial intelligence for my bachelor's. And for my master's, I did a business administration study with the specialty of digital business and innovation. And currently I'm in the advisory board.
Oh wow, I'm Tyriq. I'm the treasurer and head of acquisition at FAM, and I study finance and technology.
Cool. Thank you, guys. I mean, there's that. But we talked about the founders. I mean, Sergio and Danny, you guys are here. So we want to get to the root of it. What was it that inspired you guys to create FAM? Why was it founded?
If I may first. We both studied at the Vrije Universiteit. And we saw there was a gap within the whole environment. Like myself, I studied business administration, as I just said, and I couldn't connect with the students there. Like most of them, they went to these student associations that had the borrels, or like the afternoon drinking sessions that I was not attracted to. They went on a kroegentocht, which translates to like you hop from bar to bar, I think. I also was not like attracted to that, or they had like a lot of parties. I was not attracted to that. So that was not really the environment for me to develop next to my studies. And the other like diverse student associations, There was also not per se the environment for me because I couldn't fit in there as well. So there was a gap for other students who come from different backgrounds, who are first generation, that need a community of support as well. So Danny and me, we went to UCLA. We did a summer exchange to American University in Los Angeles.
So jealous.
With Ergun and Sarah. We're also one of the founders of FAM, who are not here today. And also Sierra, who went a year later. And there we saw first generation students really build a community of support together. And they were like assisting each other really well. And in the Netherlands, we didn't really have that feeling that we had that. Like the Netherlands is really a commuter university, so you go from home to your university and then you go back home. You don't really stay there to do like extra activities. We don't really have a sports team as well to have that university feeling like, hey,
The campus.
the campus feeling. We don't really have that. So we really wanted to bring that here as well. Yeah. And with FEM, we wanted to aspire to bring a community of support that had a place where you could feel home at university, where you could do like stuff that
Connects
us people we'll connect together. Like our first event was a poetry night. It's different than like a borrow drink, afternoon drink thing, you know. And we also we celebrate our culture, like, because we were focused on first generation students at first, and we see first generation students come from different backgrounds, so we celebrated the diversity in that as well. And that's really where the core values of FAM originated from, and you could elaborate on that as well.
Right. Yeah, do you have anything to add?
No, you said it perfectly. Oh, for real.
That was the episode, guys. Really? I'm just kidding.
Oh, you have another question? Or
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think.
But then how was your, like, so you go there and you don't really think about, hey, when I'm going there, and then I find the inspiration to start like a student association.
Yeah.
So how was it like going back on the plane, going back and thinking like, yo, we need to make something
Yeah,
of
it was
this.
an Eureka moment.
It was crazy because it was sad life. Like coming back, because literally there they have like faculty of what is it called, ethnic studies, stuff like that. They have a whole building, they have resources, they have food, they have dinners, like literally everything. And then you come back here and there's literally nothing. So when we came back, we were like, it's kind of depressing, but we had each other.
Yeah.
So that was really beautiful. We had each other, and then after a while, we got notice of a grant that came from the Ministry of Education, and that was done by ECHO. There was a grant for, I forgot the amount, but it was to put students in the lead to start their own organizations, and we filed for that grant and we got that grant. And with that, it really became from like an aspiration, seeing what happened at UCLA, to having the means to translate it to building a support base, having these events, having the committees, having the family structure, stuff like that. So definitely that grant helped us, but I would say the core is our spirit. You know, the vibe that we carry, the cultural relevance that we have, literally the whole breadth of diversity that we bring together, and we make it so fruitful. That is what really was the start. I remember we were at Sahida's room with like the 5 of us, and we were like cooking, you know, over food, having music, food, good talks, and like thinking these things out. And we were like, it's like a David versus Goliath moment where we felt super small. We were like, what are we gonna do in this institution? And then step by step, we started finding ways in, funding, leveraging that money, getting physical space.
Right.
And now we're here, right?
Look at the couch. Very diverse.
Yeah, look at us. So that was on the creation of FAM, but what does FAM actually stand for? And I would like to ask Marie this question as the chair.
Like right now?
Right
like
now,
after 2 or 3 years?
Yes, because it started as Free Family, started as an idea, the student initiative.
Right.
And it's right now a whole student association. You know?
Literally. I think our main thing is, you know, everyone is welcome, but we do focus on first generation students, students with a migration background, international students now, a lot of them coming to our beautiful association, so I'm very happy about that. And, you know, students of color, I think that's very important as well. So yeah, everyone is welcome, but we have to, empower this community first. And we try to, connect with outside as well. So with the institution, with other associations, with other parties. So I think we are right now at a beautiful place, like the start. Everyone is motivated, everyone is inspiring, and we are growing. And I think that's the thing. And obviously, Fadoua, you can tell about the monthly events we plan. Maybe you want to take over.
Yeah, sure. Already
examples.
Yeah. So what we do with the events committee is obviously organize events, and we try to really stand by the values that Danny and Sergio explained why Free Family was founded, and diversity and inclusion is something across the board for FAM that is very important. But in the events committee is always being very diligent about how do we make sure our events are actually inclusive, because the diversity is already there, but how do we attract all these diverse students to come together? Because you have, especially at FU, you have so many students from so many different backgrounds and first generation students, whatever, but you don't really see them mingling together. So we try to come up with concepts of events that are really outside of the traditional student association events. So like borrels, I don't know the English word for borrel, but what is it?
Yeah, I think it's a very Dutch thing.
It's literally borrel.
You could say afternoon drinks.
Hangout session.
Hangout sessions with a bunch of alcohol. So we try to really focus on different activities that attract different students, and we also really focus on having various types of events. So not just really fun and social events, that we definitely do have. But also events that are more educational and focused on a bit more of the activism part that comes with DNI, and making sure we give everyone a space to also share their thoughts, experiences, whatever on DNI.
And DNI is, of course, diversity and inclusivity.
Oh yeah, of course.
For everyone. But I think, if I may also add, what makes FAM very different to other student associations, that it is completely open to everyone. Mm-hmm. And we are not catered to necessarily a specific group.
Yeah.
For a specific niche. What is really cool and very awesome to see is that we really are the diversity in itself, and we also create a more inclusive environment for this diversity that we have already, which is something that we want to also pass on and give to the future generations, and also the few and other institutions themselves. But let's move on to the next, right? And I was wondering, maybe also to Tyriq, what is the current structure of FAM?
Well, we're an association.
Period.
We're an official association, so damn. And that's kind of different from where we started, right? Because we just started as a group of friends and did fun activities, and now we're an official association that does fun activities. So that is our structure, and then within the association we have different committees that all have a distinctive role. So as Fadoua said,
we're all friends here.
We're just gonna call her Fadi from now on.
That's fine.
No, but she's the head of the events committee, so she focuses on the events, and then we have a marketing committee, and of course Parwana is head of the family committee. Which is also a very different thing than the events committee. Maybe you can add on something on that. What does the family committee actually do?
What does the family committee do?
And the idea behind it.
The idea behind is actually the core value and the core idea behind the start of, FAM and Free Family actually. The idea comes from the need to have a more support system, which a lot of people from, for example, first generation student background are lacking, is really a support system that will help them throughout academia, right? So I myself never studied, obviously, and my parents also never studied in the Netherlands, so I really came here and didn't really have any guidance whatsoever. A guidance that a lot of people that are not from a first-gen background usually often have. And so the family committee is really trying to match people with other people into groups, into families, so to speak, so that they have a support system within each other, right? And we try to match them based upon, their study year, their study background, so that there's a diversity there, so that they can help each other out. If we didn't have that guidance, we have it now, and we try to help in this way also create a better bond and a more sense of belonging, with not each other but also the institution and FAM itself.
Yeah, that's so important, especially for like first generation students. Like, you feel so alone when you come here in this big university.
It's super scary.
Yeah, add something as well.
For sure.
I think it's the same thing. Like my personal family couldn't tell me really what to do at university. Like you go to university to study and make your exams, but it's more than that. It's like participate in extracurricular activities. It's building your network, and where your personal family lacks in that knowledge, you gain a family at university who can give you that knowledge.
Yeah.
So that's basically also what Parwana said.
Perfectly said, though. Yeah, definitely. All right, and then I think also maybe you briefly mentioned partnering up, right, with institutions or companies, partners, exactly. Could you maybe tell us a little bit more? What is FAM involved with? How many, what kind of partners?
Yes, of course, and maybe Tyriq can add in, because he is the acquisition head. So I don't know actually if we can talk about that. Can we name drop? Can we name drop partners like that? I don't even know.
But maybe you can give a little bit of an abstract, what kind of themes you're involved with. Yeah.
Because it's also an element of, providing for our community. So I'm head of acquisition, and with acquisition we're partnering up with the corporate world, and that's very important because all the study associations do it. But of course, first generation students don't really feel comfortable at those study associations, so they feel left out and they won't go to those events. So what we're trying to do with the acquisition committee is partner up with these same corporate companies, and then host in-house days or focus groups or workshops, anything to casual get into contact with these companies and see if there's a connection, maybe for future job or this network. So that's what we're doing with our partners, and of course, as the treasurer and head of acquisition, it also brings in money, which is very important for our association, because we're not associated or we're not part of an institution. We're not part of the FU. We're a really independent association. So we really need
by students for students.
Yeah, by students for students. So that's why we also need these partners to make sure we can keep giving to this wonderful community.
Nice. Yeah, definitely a very big point into having a student association and sustaining it, especially. But that also there was talked about, I don't think we touched upon challenges, right? Not really. So I think maybe we can briefly touch upon the challenges, and I will start with the foundation at the beginning. What were some of the challenges that you encountered when first, founding?
It's actually, the first challenge we encountered was interaction with the institution, right? Because you always, when you're in an institution, you have to relate to the institution. You cannot be in a vacuum within the institution. So to establish a connection, to establish communication with the institution was definitely a challenge. But luckily, through ECHO, through which the grant came, they had get-togethers of also other initiatives where they also had to establish a connection or interaction with their institutions. So we went to those community meetups, we learned together, we ate together, we saw the different perspectives that happened and also the different outcomes, right? Because you can either go fully institutional, that means the institution pays for you, but that means you also have to do what the institution tells you to do, right? And as Marie and Thaya already said right now, by students for students. So that comes with a different interpretation and interaction form towards the institution. So that was the first thing, and I remember how we resolved that challenge was stepping up. We were interacting with the diversity office, and we basically asked them, we want to know what you do in terms of diversity. And in the beginning, we made the decision that one of us in the core team is going to be at their diversity office meetings. So I basically told them I'll be doing that. So I attended their meetings and gave them input, and after a while just asked them, can you just hire me? Because it will be easier to have this communication. So we really went about that challenge in terms of building a bridge, with the institute. How can you collaborate? How can you keep communication clear? How can you then also keep expectations clear, so that in our growth we will just have transparency in which we can communicate? And on the challenges now, I don't know, do you have something to add?
No, I think you are right. I think the challenges we face now as the first board are more like, so we are being heard by the diversity office, by the FU, but right now it's just it's a struggle with, the tools. So we want to receive the tools to do it ourselves, because we feel like we can, approach the students better, we can talk to them, we are students, so it's easier for us. So I feel like that's one thing I would like to improve, that the FU or the institution or the company just, they should just give us the tools, so the funding, the equipment, the rooms, etc. And then we can do the fun activities, the bonding activities, and they can do their work, which is also very important. So, the institutional work, the changes, hiring diverse staff, the diversifying, all those things, they can do that, and we can do, the connection with the students. I think that's just, I think that point is still, work in progress. Yeah. But we are working on it.
And definitely also growth can be found in knowing how the institution works, right? In the bureaucratic system, knowing where to find the right people. So that's also good for us as student group to network with these people, to get to know them. So the challenges will get smaller and less challenging.
But the first thing is that you have to know that you have to network even,
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to mobilize, to, come together, to create that table for yourself first. Like FEM.
And we created our own table.
Exactly, so that we can, you can give us that advice, we can chip in our ideas and bring it all together and then take it to a whole other level, like an institutional level. I think that is very important. That is also one of the challenges that comes with it, but luckily we have a very good group behind us and team
definitely.
That we can
Shout
rely
out to
on.
y'all.
Shout out to every one of you and the one behind the cameras that you're not looking to right now. Yeah. All right. Then I have one last question, and you're free to chip in, whoever wants to answer this, which is, how do you see FEM in the future?
The biggest student association in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Hey.
I wish I could.
You got the sauce, eh?
In the Netherlands, in the world, perhaps.
A little ambitious, but
We like to dream big, don't we?
We got this.
Like as Danny said, like before, we started in Sahida's room, which is like a small student room, and I'd like to think of the Google metaphor where they found us and we started in a garage,
Right.
But we started in in 2018 was the ID, and if you look at it now, 4 years later, we have like a beautiful group of people. It's really diverse. It's
with a lot of members.
So we really grew a lot in a relatively short time. So I think for the future, I see it really positively, and especially with the group who's now in the lead, the current board. So
and that's the beauty, to assure the quality. That's what I found beautiful about FEM, that in our growth we always do quality first. Make sure the students are served, make sure they feel at home, make sure we're fed, we have the events, make sure that everybody's together, and then accordingly grow.
Yeah, I think.
I think that's a beautiful way to end. We're the next Google.
We are better. We're gonna surpass Google. What are you talking about? Yeah. On that note, food, as you also mentioned,
food, music, people,
is our main thing. Karaoke at the end is one of the things that we are really about the people, and I think that is what makes us at the end. That leads us to the end of this episode. I want to thank you guys.
Oh my god,
we did it! So exciting. Please don't be harsh on us, but this was amazing.
Get it.
So guys, this was today's first episode of Familiar by FEM, the one and only. Please make sure to give us a follow on our Instagram. It's fems.students. And don't forget to sign up, become a member, of course, and you can do this by going to the website vfam.nl. Yeah, if you aren't a member already, because come on. And stick around for more fun episodes that are going to be coming very soon. Thank you so much for tuning in today and see you in the next one.
Bye.
Good